You probably know the situation. You copy a workflow, apply some changes, and get unexpected results. You collaborate on your workflow with colleagues and you want to see the difference between two snapshots. Or you download a workflow from KNIME Server, reconfigure it, and at some point you lose an overview of the settings. In situations like these, where managing all changes in the workflows can be challenging, the workflow comparison view can help. It lists nodes in two workflows and highlights inserted, deleted and substituted nodes and differences in node configuration. Here you can see a workflow for customer segmentation. First we read the data, then we do some pre-processing. Next, this component is used to ask the user for some input. Finally, we cluster the data based on the input. Here's another workflow that looks very much the same, but is it really? Let's take a look. To compare these two workflows, we keep the Control button pressed and select the workflows in the KNIME Explorer. Next, we right-click the selection and select Compare in the menu. A new tab opens in the Workflow Editor. It shows two lists of nodes, one for each selected workflow. The order of the nodes is the same as the node order in the workflow branches, and nodes with the same node ID in the two workflows appear on the same level. The numbers are the node IDs. Here we see that some of the nodes that are in the second workflow are missing in the first workflow. If we inspect the workflows in more detail, we see that the first workflow denormalizes and assigns colors only to the data with the clusters. The second workflow also applies these operations to the cluster centers, and that makes the difference. These k-means nodes have a grey background, which means that these nodes have been configured differently. To see the exact differences, we first select the nodes in the list. Next, we click this Show Configuration Differences of Selected Nodes icon in the toolbar. A Node Settings Comparison view appears here below. In this view, the item with the grey background pinpoints a setting with a different configuration. To find out exactly which setting is different, we expand the Node Settings item until we see the exact selection in the configuration dialog that's different, marked by a red background. Here it is. The first workflow clusters the data into 3 clusters, and the second workflow into 10 clusters. Now let's take a look at the other icons in the toolbar. If we click the plus icon, the nodes are shown that appear in only one of the 2 workflows. By clicking the next icon, we see the nodes that appear in only one of the workflows, as well as the nodes with different configurations. Sometimes we might have 2 workflows with a long list of differences, but we are only interested in the differences in some of the nodes. In this situation, we can filter the list by typing a part of the node name or node ID here in this search field. To return the unfiltered list of nodes, we click the rightmost icon. Now let's take a look at how differences inside metanodes and components are reported. The differences for nodes inside metanodes are shown in the same way as for nodes that are not inside a metanode. Components, on the other hand, are not expanded, as you can see here. There are some differences between these 2 components, as shown by this grey background. We select them to compare them. As you can see, this custom configuration setting for the number of clusters has a red background and is therefore different in the 2 components. If there are differences in the configuration of a single node inside a component, this component internal settings hash has a red background. If the nodes inside them are different, this item, component content hash, has a red background. Notice that the exact differences are not reported though. In this video, we've shown how to compare 2 workflows, the nodes inside them and the differences in their configuration. Differences between 2 nodes can be compared in more detail in the Node Settings comparison view. Metanodes are expanded in the Node comparison view, while components are not. In addition to 2 workflows, the workflow comparison works the same way for components and snapshots.